100 million offers. It's literally the best book that I've read on business to date. And so I do not wish to waste any more of your time, right? And I just want to dive into the contents of the book. So before I actually do that, guys, I would like to mention the fact that this is the first book review that I'm making ever in my channel. So if you guys want like the format to be changed, or if you want more of a different style of video when it comes to the book reviews, do let me know. As this is the first book review that I'm doing, and I frankly don't have that much of an idea of what you guys actually want. So do mention that in the comments, or just do text me personally anything that you would prefer in the book reviews, anything specific that you would prefer in the book reviews. But I mean, let's just get into it. Before I actually dive into the contents of the book, I would like to mention a few lines about the author himself, right? So 100 Million Offers was actually written by an author called Alex Hormozi. He is an absolute titan in the world of business, and he has gained his reputation by giving away material and just study material and informational stuff surrounding business, information surrounding business that you normally would have to pay tens and hundreds and thousands of dollars to actually put your hands on. He gained his reputation by giving those things absolutely away for free, because, I mean, in his words, he just wants people to get rich. He just wants to get people to get rich, and he just wants to work with businesses from 1 to 3 million, actually scale to 10 million and plus. So to actually do that, he has to get people to 1 million in the first place, right? And for that, he made all his resources on YouTube, and this book completely for free, or completely at cost, which is very cheap. Yeah, that's how he gained his reputation, right? He completely transformed my mindset around money, right, by actually giving me concrete proven steps instead of just stating voodoo philosophy, right? So this guy, he gives you concrete steps, and these are harsh steps, right? I mean, he doesn't sugarcoat anything with regards to the contents of the book. So he repeatedly mentions the fact that only 0.4% of all businesses actually cross the 1 million mark, which is a very harsh statistic to actually know. But it's also motivating knowing the fact that even though it's only 0.4% of the businesses who actually cross the 1 million mark, with proven frameworks, you can always like improve your side of the equation, like the skill part of the equation. And if you haven't heard about Alex Hormozi, I frankly don't know how you haven't, even considering the fact that if you are in the business space, and if you are actually interested in business and online business and everything as a whole, I'm pretty sure that he would have at least found his way to your feed once in the last year, because he has completely blown up. Him and his YouTube channel and his brand in general have completely blown up. So if you guys haven't heard of him, very surprised, but I'll include the link to his YouTube channel in the description. So like, enough about the author. Now I would like to dive into the contents of the actual book itself. 100 Million Offers is actually the first of a 5-part series, right? He's planning on launching 5 books, out of which 100 Million Offers is the first book, and the second book is actually 100 Million Leads, which actually came out last month or something. During the launch, he actually blew the internet up. He had like more people than the Super Bowl on the Zoom call to actually attend the book launch. You guys should absolutely go and watch the book launch. I linked the book launch also in the description. He absolutely broke the internet. It was truly a transformational video to watch, because he again does what he does best. He gave away a lot of information and a lot of things, a lot of courses for free, right? And so yeah, I mean, I'll just link that in the description. And as the name suggests, Alex Hormozi believes that 100 million offers, right? The reason why he released this book as the first book of the 5-part series is because he believes that the offer is what make or break businesses, right? And according to him, in a normal market where demand and supply is fairly equal, and with all other things like customer needs and competition, with all other things staying constant, it is your offer which actually will make you stand apart from your competition, right? And it will frankly be a disservice if I were to tell you that this video will actually cover the complete awesomeness surrounding the book itself. For that, I mean, the book is like 200 or 300 pages long, and I could make like a 5 or 10 minute video about each and every page of this book, because it frankly packs a lot of value, right? It packs a lot of value. So I just frankly recommend that you guys actually get your hands on this book. Again, I'll link the Amazon page to buying this book in the description. What I cannot do is cover all the contents and actually cover all of the awesomeness of the book. What I can do is actually tell you guys 2 key things that actually stood out from the contents of the book itself, with the first one being the approach that Alex Hormozi actually took towards an offer itself. Firstly, just growing up in an Indian household, I was constantly exposed to the idea that to actually succeed in business, you have to price your product as low as humanly possible compared to your competitors to actually succeed. While this strategy can actually work for companies with billions and billions of dollars who can actually afford to run their operations for months on a loss, it is an absolute no bueno for someone who has no money starting off and who has absolutely no capital. So before I actually started the book, when I was actually hearing about the book itself, I initially assumed the fact that the book was actually going to advocate for the same thing, right? Price your services as low as possible, provide as much value as possible. And well, truth be told, truth be actually told, as I started to discover the book more and more, I was absolutely blown away. Before I actually continue, I have to mention like why a transaction occurs in the first place, right? Because if you understand that, all of the things that I'm going to mention in the future or after this will actually make more sense. A transaction is basically an exchange of dollars for value. And how you get value is basically, if you have some kind of problem, value will be delivered in the form of a solution to that problem, right? If you want to get somewhere, when you book an Uber, that's like you're getting value in the form of the car actually transporting you from A to B, right? The pain of not being able to get to B is solved by the Uber itself. And well, the reason why I'm going to refer to the bad way of approaching offers as the Indian way is because, or just for reference, as it's not just the India way, and a lot of other countries have this ongoing belief as well, the fact that you guys have to price your services and goods as low as humanly possible to succeed. It's not just an Indian way, but I'm just stating it as an Indian way as a point of reference to help you guys better understand it. So a major flaw in the Indian approach towards offer is that it like completely leaves out the part which is the most important when it comes to an offer, which is the value part, right? They never tell you about the value part. They just tell you, if you want to succeed in business, just price your services or goods as low as humanly possible and you'll succeed. The part where they forget to mention about how much value you're actually providing. In comes the concept of a grand slam offer, the offer which is advocated in the book by the author Alex Hormozi. Grand slam offer, or the Alex Hormozi way of approaching offers, is that create an offer, price it 100 times more and provide 1000 times the value. 10 times the price, 100 times the value, or 100 times the price and 1000 times the value. Like for example, if you're competing against a cake company, right? If your competitor is selling cakes, if the cakes are getting sold for 10 rupees, you basically charge 100 rupees, but you provide 1000 times a better experience with regards to the taste, with regards to how many bonuses that you give along with the cakes, along with the actual cake that he's buying. So maybe you provide 2 or 3 sweets on top of the cake itself. That's the concept of a grand slam offer. More money, more value. The opposite is also true, like more value, more money. Like with regards to how customers actually buy your products, it's not actually tied to the value of the product itself, but how much the customer perceives the product to be valuable for them. And the easiest way to actually help the customers understand the value of your product is by pricing the product as high as humanly possible. I'm not telling you to just completely price your services or products unreasonably high. That's not what I'm saying, right? Justify the high cost, right? Make an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no. Making such an offer, like the Grand Slam offer, actually gives you the room to actually price your services or goods as high as humanly possible, right? And implementing significantly higher prices not only enables you ample profit margins to actually scale your business, it also facilitates expansion and scalability of your want of solving businesses or solving problems rather at a much larger scale, right? So when you are actually scaling your business, it's good for you and the society itself, because you're attempting to solve the problems of the society or solve the problems that you are willing to solve or you're able to solve at a much larger scale. So it's like a win-win for everyone. So the Grand Slam offer is the absolute best approach that everyone should take towards offers, regardless of your niche, regardless of what industry you're in, right? Grand Slam offer is the way to go when it comes to approaching offers. With that said, I'm going to mention the second thing that actually stood out from the book itself, and the second thing was actually how Alex Hormozi deconstructed value through the famous Alex Hormozi value equation. You would have heard me mention over the past few minutes a lot of times value. But what is actually value? I'll define value using the equation that Alex Hormozi actually put forward, which is, the equation goes something like this, right? Value equals to dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice. So basically, in the numerator there is dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement, and in the denominator there is time delay and effort and sacrifice. Understanding this simple equation can completely quadruple your businesses, right? And completely just help you understand offers from a very narrow and very broad perspective. And so I will explain the different elements, right? So every single element of the value equation itself I am going to explain. Dream outcome. So after buying your product, what is the outcome that the customer will get? That is basically what dream outcome is. Perceived likelihood of achievement is how likely that your product will actually fulfill the dream outcome for the customers that it actually promises. Time delay is the time it will take after buying the product to realize the dream outcome. How quickly does your product actually get the user from A to B, right? B being the dream outcome that the customer actually wants. And effort and sacrifice basically means what is the effort and sacrifice required from the customer side to actually achieve said dream goal. A rule of thumb that Alex Hormozi wants everyone to follow is maximize the upper part and minimize the lower part, right? Maximize the numerator and minimize the denominator. So I'll mention this in context to each of the contents which are mentioned below, right? Or which I have mentioned before. So dream outcome of the value equation, if you actually apply the rule of thumb which I talked about, when it comes to dream outcomes, it will be more number of dream outcomes or increased quality of the outcome, right? Which can be achieved through the product. Perceived likelihood of achievement, show testimonials, anything that increases the likelihood in the customer's eyes that you will actually deliver on the promise. Time delay, again, time delay is the lower part of the equation, which means you have to decrease it, decrease the amount of time that it takes for your product to actually get the user from A to B. The best product when it comes to the time delay part of the equation would be, as soon as they buy the product, in the snap of the fingers, they'll get the dream outcome that they were promised. That will be the best or the most valuable product with regards to time delay itself. And effort and sacrifice, you have to minimize it. Again, the lower part of the equation, you have to minimize it as much as humanly possible, which means the amount of effort and sacrifice from the customer itself, if you can reduce it as much as possible, your product will be infinitely more valuable. Alex Hormozi further narrows down his advice to actually tell people, and he actually starts to tell people that you only need to actually completely drive your focus towards the lower part of the equation, which is just focus on making the denominator zero. Just focus on making the lower part of the equation zero, because it's self-explanatory, because anything divided by zero is infinite, which means if you can minimize, or if you can make the time delay zero, and if you can make the effort and sacrifice from the customer zero, this will make the product infinitely valuable in the customer's eyes. So these are just the two things that actually stood out in my eyes, but the book itself actually contains a lot more than just this. Like, for example, some of the things which are included would include how to pick the right market, creating an avatar to actually market to, how to build out a Grand Slam offer, which I mentioned in the video, right? How to actually build out the Grand Slam offer by listing out all the problems and solutions of the avatar which you constructed in the previous step. Different modes of solutions delivery, like different modes like done for you, done with you. Could go on and on about the contents of the book, but I absolutely recommend that each one of you get your hands on this book, and I promise you, you will not regret it. I mean, the price is comparatively higher, but this is actually done on purpose. As I mentioned the Grand Slam offer part, Alex Hormozi priced his book as much as humanly possible, right? Which is, the book itself is like 10 times more than what you normally buy. So I bought it at somewhere around 2,300 or 400. All the books that I'm used to buying is around 200 or 300, right? So it's like 10 or 11 times as much as the competitors. But I can single-handedly guarantee you this book provided more value than like 3 or 4 books I have on my shelf. And I have a lot of business books in my shelf, like, believe me. I love reading business, right? And this book is by far the best book that I've read on business so far. So to actually conclude everything, Alex Hormozi, bro, the dude is like taking the business space of YouTube by storm. So if you haven't onboarded the Hormozi train, I highly recommend you guys to do it, as now is the perfect time to actually do it, as I'm completely sure the dude will actually break the internet quite a lot of times in the future, during the time in which he actually launches book 3, 4 and 5. He's already broken the internet itself during the launch of his second book, 100 million leads itself, but I believe we are just getting started, right? And any and every content that comes from Alex Hormozi, I have personally started consuming everything, because I believe from the bottom of my heart that anything and everything that comes out of him is completely valuable, and I do not mind actually dedicating my time, like actually investing my time into it. So I truly am grateful to be living in the era that he's living in. And frankly, saw in one of the comments to one of his videos that if you are an Alex Hormozi fan, and if you actually consume his content, in the day and age of Alex Hormozi, where he's making such kind of content as such kind of education accessible and valuable to everyone, you have no reason to be broke. You have absolutely no excuses and no reasons to be broke. With that said, I mean, I hope I concluded and I hope I painted a very accurate picture of who Alex Hormozi is and what kind of things he stands for, his morals and ethics, and the kind of value he provides to people. So if all of the things which I mentioned in the video hasn't convinced you to buy this book, well, I frankly don't know how you... I frankly am very curious to know the thought process behind which you actually buy books in the first place, right? Because I finally think I covered everything surrounding why this book is awesome and why you guys should actually put your hands on this book, right? And with that said, I'll actually conclude the video again finally by saying that the link to the Amazon page to buy this book is down in the description. A link to the book launch that that took place recently is also down in the description. And finally, the link to his YouTube channel itself is down in the description as well. So with that said, I know this book review is actually a little shaky, guys. The reason for that is actually this is one of the first book reviews that I'm doing, and frankly I don't have that much practice doing these kinds of videos. So if you guys do like these kinds of videos, and if you actually do want me to make more of these videos, do let me know down in the comments below, or do let me know personally. And if you want me to change the format of these videos, do let me know that as well, as I'm more than welcome to change my videos or tweak my videos in a way where you guys enjoy it and learn from it, more importantly, the most. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next video, and do let me know what you guys know about this video again in the comments. I'm mentioning it again and again because I truly want feedback as to how I can improve this format of my video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.